Yeah, hi everyone, welcome to Lodge for another week. As predicted, a couple of horses raced really well through the week. I'll just show you, this is Lulu's Choice at Gunbower a year ago.
It's Lulu's Choice just with its head in front. Adderboom on the fence tries to respond. It's Lulu's Choice just clinging on. I think it's
And this is Lulu's Choice last Saturday.
Below the 200, Adderboom tackled by Lulu's Choice. Still there, Bronco Revolution. Adderboom finding on the inside from Lulu's Choice. They hit the line, Lulu's Choice.
Yeah, quite incredible, isn't it? A year apart, same track, same distance, same horses and same result, I suppose. Well done to everybody there with Lulu. She's sort of battling away in lowly graded race. We finally found a race that she could win. Got well ridden and yeah, good result for there. Not sure where we'll take her now, but she'll probably head up for a very similar race somewhere. Racey Casey took her down to Sale in a really strong race, big prize money race. And she was really world. She hit the front, probably just got left in front a little bit too early and just got bloused right on the line. So she looks like she's going to be a pretty progressive sort of filly. You'd probably say she's at least a midweek city grade horse. We're right in the middle of the spring, so we might be able to, once we win a maiden with her, find a little race and I'll be able to crack at a half decent race during the spring. I've got a few runners this week. Here's James with this week's runners.
First of our runners on Friday night at Cranbourne, Redivo. He's in the midnight race, I reckon, just about. That's what time we're going to get home. I thought he was a bit plain, sort of second up, whether it was just a bit of second up sort of syndrome. Sometimes those stayers, they run those blinders first up and then second up, they're a bit flat. But track was, like, it was a good 3, which is probably not to his liking. He likes a bit of cutting in the ground, even a bit heavier. But he pulled up well. He's pulled up nice and sound. He's galloping well. He looks great. He's eating well. So yeah, play on. We'll keep him at that sort of trip, the 2500 at Cranbourne. So hopefully they scoot along and make it a really sort of tough staying test, and we can sort of see him hitting the line hard. There wasn't a real lot of like races around that we're going to go up more in trip, so we thought just stick at the 2500 and then next start we can go up to a race that we think will be pretty hard to beat in. So if he sort of beats half of them home, running home strongly, then that'll be certainly a pass mark on Friday night at Cranbourne. The second of our runners at Cranbourne on Friday night will be Moneywheel. Looked like he was tracking pretty well into the race the other day at Coleraine and just sort of didn't have that killer blow. He was only beaten a couple of lengths, but just the way that he was tracking into it, I thought he was sort of, going to pounce on him late. But yeah, he was sort of building nicely into his preparation, and then he just sort of had that flat run. But as I mentioned a bit later on in the video, I just reckon a couple of those horses had a bit of an off day at Coleraine the other day. Yeah, and I think he was one of them, because I think he's better than that. And yeah, and his gallop through the week probably showed that he worked up like a nice horse that didn't matter what sort of maiden we'd taken to, that he'd be pretty competitive in. So we just sort of kept him nice and fresh, kept him sort of feeling well, and sort of undertrained him a little bit, kept him at the mile. We were sort of tossed up whether going up to the 2,000 metres, but we can probably do that next start if he sort of looks a little bit one-paced again over the mile. So, but no, it looks good, eating well, no excuses on Friday night at Cranbourne. First of our runners at Manangatang on Saturday, Shuey. Can't draw a gate, this fellow. He just seems to draw in the 2 outside gates these last couple of starts, but we'll probably have a roll of the dice going to Manangatang. So we'll kick him out of the gates and he'll roll forward as he does, and yeah, hopefully he can sort of get across and find a reasonable spot. So this is, he draws a gate. We're probably really confident going here, but just depends on the gate. But yeah, he's more than up to these sort of horses, so he should, I would say he's almost the best horse in the race, just where he gets to from that gate. You're at Manangatang, so they'll be punching out, and there'll be about 4 or 5 of them trying to lead. So, but no, once he that sort of first 100 metres, and then he sort of really gains momentum and he sort of winds up. So if he can get somewhere near the front, coming to the corner, then he should be pretty hard to run down. But no, he's going well. He's galloping up well. So yep, take Huey to Manangatang on Saturday. The second male runners at Manangatang will be Miss Gossip Girl. She significantly needs to turn her form around. She ran the one race at Ballarat where she ran third and she was pretty good and looked like she was going to be able to win a race for us. But her last couple of starts have been really disappointing. So her mannerisms at the races have been poor and she's raced accordingly. So changed a few things around, put her out in the paddock, changed her diet around and things like that. So hopefully that can mark a significant form turnaround. She's going to Manangatang, she's drawn gate 1, so there's a couple of ticks in the boxes there. So scalloping up good, and there's certainly, you know, her work here at the farm is certainly more than competitive. You can go to Manangatang and be hard to beat, but unfortunately at the races she's losing the plot a little bit and she's falling apart, and so hopefully her head's in a little bit better space being trained out of a paddock and a bit of a change in diet. So we'll see how we go at Manangatang on Saturday. Last of our runners at Manangatang on Saturday will be Bo Cougar. She was pretty disappointing last start. I thought she'd run really well and she didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I think just a couple of those horses we took to Coleraine the other day, they may have just had an off day. We all have an off day, and yeah, I think a couple of those horses had an off day. So galloped up really good through the week for her. It's probably the best that she's worked in her life. So I certainly don't think that yeah, we've got any issues with her. She's eating well. I reckon she's come on in her coat again. So yeah, I'm pretty upbeat as I can be for a Bo Cougar going to Manangatang. But yeah, I think you'll see a significant improvement in her form. She was pretty good at her prior start at Kilmore without a lot of luck. So if she can repeat that performance on Saturday, I reckon she'll take a power beating. That's Bo Cougar. We'll take El Sordo to Kilmore on Monday. Going to drop him back to the mile. He seems to race really well over that distance. He looks like he's going to get more ground, but whether the tempo of those 2,000 metre races just don't really suit him, and he sort of gets, sort of half chokes himself down. So that's why probably at the mile, better tempo, get back and then run home really strongly. So seems to be a horse that he likes a little bit of cut in the ground, so there's a bit of rain around on the weekend. That certainly won't do him any harm. But drop him back to a distance and a track that he won at. So yeah, we'll sort of find out exactly where he's at this preparation. That's El Sordo. G'day guys, welcome to Around the Stables. This week's horse is a horse called New Romance. She was a funny horse. She had her first start over 1,000 metres for us at Camperdown, and we just sort of gradually stepped her up in trip, and eventually she ended up getting to 2,200, where she her last couple of starts over a staying trip, she was mighty competitive. She ran a place and just sort of got run down late, but little mare, she's not very big, but she tries, and that's all you can ask. She horse last time in, we you know, the more racing she did, we sort of battled with her soundness, with her feet and things like that. But we gave her a really good spell and sort of, you know, give her a good 6 months in the paddock, and yeah, wrapped with the condition that she's come back in, body wise, but then also her feet. We've been able to work her first 4 weeks here barefooted, so we haven't had to put shoes on her yet, and I think that's going to be a massive advantage come later on in her prep. So yeah, she's probably about a couple of weeks of a trial. She's up going even time now, so a couple of weeks of a trial. We won't over trial her, give her one trial and be back to the races. So yeah, but I think as she gets on in her prep, she'll improve, but yeah, it doesn't mean to say that she won't be competitive in her first couple of races. So she's owned by Brian O'Dwyer, a good client of the stable, and he's had a lot of horses with us, including Prince Iggy. So he's been a good support of the stable. So it'd be good to reward him with a couple of wins with this mare, New Romance.
Yeah, that's it for another week at Emsley Lodge. Thanks for watching. Pretty keen on a couple of horses this week. Should run some really good races. Horses at Manangatang will go really well. Horses on Friday night. I reckon Money Wheel will go pretty good on Friday night. His work the other day was pretty sharp. and he's sort of 4th run in now, and he's pretty spot on. Redivo's kicking up to, he's not far away from getting up to his pet distance, which is good. El Sordo, he'll go back down in grade, go back to Kilmore, back to a mile. So yeah, a few horses here that on the weekend, if you follow them, I reckon we've got a couple of really nice each way bets. What do we got this week? I hope you've all had a couple of bucks on Windy's Longshot. Got up and paid $16 through the week. So if you're following Windy's tips, you're probably, you're probably a couple hundred or $150 or something in front over the last probably last 10 bets or so. What have we got this week? Caulfield Guineas. Here's an interesting stat. By the way, I hope you all follow that. Feasibility Sustainer got beaten last week from Barrier 1. The stats have been given up, been pretty good. Okay, for our stats this week, we're on to the Caulfield Guineas. Now, if you followed the numbers 1 to 5, have won 22 of the last 30 guineas, which is pretty strong. But you don't want to draw outside 10. If outside 10's death. So there's only one horse in the top 5 that's drawn inside, and that's the top weight, Rivellino, and I think it's about 20 to 1. So all the stats lead to, if you look at that, Rivellino will be hard to beat. I think Willow rides it, and I think it's about 20 to 1, so it might be worthwhile having a couple of bucks each way. Great racing this week. We got a couple of really good chances. Hopefully it's a good week. Until next week, see you later.